What up, y'all? This your boy ZTR. I'm just going to make a quick video, and this is going to be another video where I explain how what Madden needs to do to become a better video game again. And I want to say shouts out to Ryan Moody. Okay, he's been a YouTuber that's been hot on the scene for like the last like 2 Maddens. Okay, he's been one of the main ones holding Clint Ogenberg accountable and the rest of the EA devs on Madden on trying to make it a legit video game again. The man reached, I think, 30.8 million subscribers. You know, shouts out to him. And he's also been helping the community out with his stocks. He's been offering a lot of stocks, so shouts out to him. And also I want to say shouts out to Eric Rayweather, who's at least been trying to make Madden explainable. He explains to you the features and what's going on with each mode, and he's been giving his honest opinion about it. He doesn't hold nothing back. And shouts out to everybody else in the community who have done rosters, who have done slider changes to try to make the game at least fun to play, at least halfway decent, despite the BS that these game changers be doing. Because, and I say this out of respect and love, you know, I'm not trying to beef with them, but Madden is not fun no more. Off the top, it's just not fun. But I'm gonna explain that one feature that we've been missing, and they need to really bring back. Now I want you to take a look at the screen here. Now this is Madden 98. This is like one of my favorite Maddens of all time. Okay, this game was pretty much an improved version of Madden 97. Yeah, Madden 97 was good because Madden 97 has the same type of features as far as like these rosters, these classic teams, but except Madden 98's AI is a little bit better than 97. 97 was a little bit easier to play. It's easier to manipulate the it's not that much of a challenge. It's once you know how to manipulate the AI during ball movement, and when you run the football, it's easy to win that game, to dominate. But Madden 98 it's a little bit more harder. But anyways, the one thing EA needs to start doing, they need to bring back these classic rosters. They need to bring back historic teams. One of the things I could say about 2K that 2K does well with its video game is that it gives you a chance to play historic rosters. You could play with the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls, each Bulls team he won a championship with. You could play with the bad boy Detroit Pistons. Okay, you could play with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Milwaukee Bucks that won their first championship in the 70s. You got a gang of historic rosters you could use. Not to forget to mention, you could create players and make your own historic rosters from teams that are not even on the game. Okay? 2K gives you a lot to do with their rosters. They give you full customization. They even allow you to create teams. You can enter a franchise mode and create your own teams, your own custom teams. You can even relocate teams in the season mode. Now, this is one of the few maps that allow you to do that. When you go to the season mode or the franchise mode, you can actually customize the season and change up the division. You could add, you could change the NFC and AFC to which teams you want them to be on which conference. That's, like I said, this is the only few matters that actually gives you free range to do it, and it allows you to create a certain amount of a nice decent size amount of players. Yeah, you may not be able to create over 100 players or 50 some players like you do in the newer Maddens, but it at least allow you to create at least around, I'm gonna say around maybe 24, maybe 25, maybe 25 players. Okay, you can add to these teams. But I want you to take a look at these rosters. Okay, as you can see, this team has the 64 Browns and the 81 Chargers. This is the Browns team that had Jim Brown on there, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Jim Brown was on this team, right? But you also have the 81 Chargers with Dan Fouts. Now, these rosters was done in NCAA format, meaning they don't have the actual names on there, but they have the numbers. So you can pinpoint which player is on whose roster because of the numbers. Now, if you want to look up on who had which number, you can go on the internet on Google. You could type in, for example, you could type in the 1964 Browns, and they'll show you who's on which roster. That's what I do it. But I've been having a lot of fun with these rosters, okay? Because it's like it gives you at least over 32 teams. Yeah, you have your current 30 NFL teams because that's how many teams it was back then. But you have these rosters that you can choose from, and you can battle out in a what if scenario to see which one of these Hall of Fame teams match up against these current rosters. Okay, this gives you a lot to do for the video game. This game was worth $60 back in the day. Again, this is the only other time where Madden was actually this is a time I'm gonna continue. This was a time when Madden had competition. because John Madden was the only football game out. Back in the PS1 days, you had what's called NFL Game Day. Now, NFL Game Day was the video game of the football back in the 90s. Back in the 90s going to early 2000, Game Day was the best football game. Like, the only time, Madden 98 was the only football game that was better than Game Day 98. I would say, like, graphically. As far as, like, features and franchise mode, and just the design of the players, this was better than NFL Game Day 98. But Game Day 97 and 96 was better than Madden. Way better than Madden. Then Game Day 99, 2000, 2001. Right? All the way until the PS2 came out, was better than Madden. Now, of course, you had 2K that came out too. Now, 2K was next level. And then you had NFL Quarterback Club that came out for N64. You had Tecmo Super Bowl. You had some other video game titles. But Game Day and Madden were the main two that were duking it out before 2K came on scene and changed all that. Alright? Because not everybody could afford a Dreamcast either. Okay, Dreamcast was costing almost like $300. Well over $200. No, everybody couldn't afford a Dreamcast around 99, 2000. Right? So everybody and plus everybody was comfortable with Game Day anyway, but no, this is like the only Madden that was better than Game Day, because the problem with Madden 99 and 2000 and 2001, even the N64 ones, those character models were too bulky. I didn't like those character models. Like, Madden 8 actually had legit character models where the players look like themselves. Even Game Day. Game Day's character roster was a lot, like Game Day 99, 2000, those had better player models because they were a lot buffer and ripped. Whereas in Madden 98, 99, or Madden 99 and 2000, those rosters look too fat and too bulky. Running backs look like fullbacks. Receivers look like tight ends. And tight ends look like offensive linemen. No, that was terrible. Even though, again, Madden 98 still had good feature. It had a decent franchise mode. It wasn't better than Game Day. But anyways, no, this is one of the only few Maddens that have historic rosters where they were still doing it. All the way up until Madden 2008. I think Madden 2010 was pretty much the last Madden that had historic players on there, or that Hall of Fame players. After that, that was it. Yeah, I think Madden 09 through Madden 10 and 11. Yeah, Madden 10, they had historic Hall of Fame players, just didn't have the rosters. Okay? But this is what I don't understand about the newer Maddens. Before I continue and end this video, how could you have MUT, right? You got Madden Ultimate Team, which is MUT for short. How could you have players like Shannon Sharp, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice, okay? You got Tony Gonzalez, but you don't have the rosters that they played on. Right? There are people that want to play with the 72 Dolphins, the only undefeated team in NFL history. They go 17-0 in a season. You know, people may prefer the Mean Joe Green Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtain, with Tony Dungy, right? Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris. There are Cowboy fans like me that want to play with the 92 Dallas Cowboys, or the one from 96 or 95 that beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. There are those who, yes, there's a Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks that people may be, these newer people like to play with, but then you got people that are fans of the Sean Alexander Seattle Seahawks that had Matt Hasselbeck and Matt Strome. Okay? Where is that Seattle Seahawks football team? When Sean Alexander was the Terrell Davis of the league back in them days. You know, some people may want to play with the 1998 Minnesota Vikings that had Randy Moss on there when they was 15-1. Okay? You got the 1980s rosters with Joe Montana that people want to use, and they had Ronnie Lott. Right? Some people may want to have the 94 San Francisco 49ers that had Deion Sanders on there. They had like 8-9 other Pro Bowlers with Ricky Waters. Where's that Niner team at? You know, the Broncos with John Elway and Terrell Davis and Christian McCaffrey's father Ed. Where's that Broncos team? Those rosters actually own this video game. Matter of fact, let's just scroll down. Let's look how many teams they have. Look at that, man. Look at all these teams, and these are actual uniforms too. For example, this 49er team actually has the gold pants, because when Madden 98 came out, the Niners wasn't using gold pants anymore. They had the white uniforms, the ones they had when Deion Sanders came over in '94. They had those uniforms, and the helmets was they had the red face masks on the helmets. But the 81 49ers, they actually had the original gold uniform, the gold pants with the original red jerseys, right? But look at that. Right? The Doug Williams Redskins. When the Washington was known as the Redskins. Look at the Raiders, right? The LA Raiders. Or the Oakland Raiders, right? Look at that. Seahawks, right? Look at that. The Dan Marino Miami Dolphins that went to a Super Bowl. Look at that, man. Look at all these rosters, right? Look at the Patriots. Look at that. Look at the Broncos. Look at the Patriots, right? The original Patriot logo. Look at the 86 Giants with Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick coaching them. With Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms. Look at this, man. You got all these classic teams. Look at that. That's the David Hostiller Giants that won them a Super Bowl, right? Look at the Eagles with Randall Cunningham. This is the Redskins that had Mark Ripon. Okay, that was a team that beat the Buffalo Bills. Look at the '93 Chiefs with Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. Okay, look at the competitive Detroit Lions roster. I think this is when Scott Mitchell was going. I think they still had Eric Kramer on that team. No, Eric Kramer, yeah, I think he was either him or Scott Mitchell was a quarterback of that Lions team. But that's when Barry Sanders was in his prime. Look at when the Panthers was a franchise. This is the Carolina Panthers that went to the NFC Championship game, right? That Panther team. So yeah, this is the Drew Bledsoe New England Patriots. Yeah, this is the only other Patriots that was in the Super Bowl before Tom Brady came. And of course, '96, you know about this is the Brett Favre Packers with Dan I think Holmgren. That Packer team went to the with the 2 Super Bowls in a row. Cause they went that year and they went this season. Like Madden 98, they went to 2 Super Bowls in a row. They played New England the last Madden in Madden 97, and then this Madden they went against the Broncos because Denver had the best team. But look at that, you got the 64. Look at the O.J. Simpson Buffalo Bills. That's when you had the juice. Look at this had the Johnny Unitas, the Baltimore Colts. Look at the original Chargers. That was the L.A. Chargers. When that was the American Football League. That again, this Charger team. Let me make this specific. No, this Charger team was from the American Football League. It wasn't the NFL. The NFL was a separate league. Like example, this Cowboys, they were franchised when it was the merger. That Charger team came before the merger hit. It was just them and the Bills. I think you had it was them, Bills, Raiders, like those teams, right? It was just a separate league. Look at the original Chicago Bears. Now this is the Chiefs. This was the first franchise that was in Houston. Long before the Texans, long before Houston Texans, this was the Dallas Texans. Okay? I want people to pay very close attention. This is when the Chiefs was in Texas. Yes, the Chiefs was in Texas before they moved to Kansas City. They were the Dallas Texans. Okay? Long before the Cowboys, long before Tom Landry had the Cowboys in Dallas, they were the Texans. They weren't even in Houston because the Oilers was in Houston. Look, the 62 Packers. This was pretty much the Vince Lombardi, Bart Starr Packers. Look, the original Giants from back in the day, right? This is when the Lions was winning championships. These two teams was winning championships back in those days. Again, both of these teams represent the original National Football League with the Bears and Packers, right? Look at the original Oilers. This was Houston Oilers. They're pretty much they're pretty much baby blue and white. They didn't have the red uniform. They wasn't having the red trim on there. Look at the original Philadelphia Eagles. And you got the American Football League. Just that was pretty much their Pro Bowl. Okay, but y'all see that, right? I'm just showing you something. Okay. Look at the Jets, right? The 68 Jets with Joe Namath. The new Maddens don't have none of these rosters at all, dude, and it's sad. Look at the undefeated Don Shula Miami Dolphins. So I say that to say this, man. Like, even then, right? Look at the Buccaneers. This was the Doug Williams Buccaneers when he got drafted to them. Doug Williams is considered one of the greatest black African-American quarterbacks in NFL history because he was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl leading a team. This is before he went to Washington. He was on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. That's what makes them historic. Look at the Warren Moon Houston Oilers with Earl Campbell. Okay? Again, man, like This is what the new Maddens don't have. For a game to be on PS4, right? PS3 to have all that memory, and you don't have none of these rosters. Like, come on now. But let's just do. Let me just show you an example. Let me just show you something real quick. And I'm gonna show you a feature of the this is what the newer Maddens don't have. Okay, we're gonna go into a game. Let me show you something before I end this video, because the newer Maddens are not doing this at all. They shied away from this feature. Okay, and this is what I hate. Right, and then this is to make Madden better. But I say this to say we need to bring back these historic rosters. If 2K is doing this, EA needs to do this too. And I don't care that you looking for a license. That's no excuse. All the money EA making, you could play these Hall of Fame players money to use their likeness. I'm pretty sure that most of these Hall of Fame players don't care anymore, because it's education to the younger generation.
Hello, everybody. It looks like another great NFL matchup as the San Francisco 49ers face off against the Dallas Cowboys.
I want you to pay very close attention. Now look at that. Look how they break down the strategy. That's Steve Young at the top, and that's Charles Haley. Right? Look at 21. That's Deion Sanders. Okay? That's the actual strategy. They break down for how you to win. And look at them uniforms. Like the current Madden 98, they don't have those jerseys at all. So again, before I end this video, dude, this is what I'm showing you. Madden needs to bring back these historic rosters, okay? But anyways, man, that's the video. Again, man, tell me what you think. This is just to make Madden better, because it's sad that we don't have no historic rosters.